Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are doing our daily MLB pitching preview show with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Right now we're reviewing the card for Sunday, August 16th, and Joe Duffy's final picks every day. This is just his advice and his general thoughts. I'm very happy that he gives it to us every day in Major League Baseball. His website is OffshoreInsiders.com. And Joe Duffy, I think you officially qualify as a living legend in the world of sports handicap. You're definitely living. Are you a legend? That's the question.
Yeah, I'm living at least as of this moment. Yeah, I'm pretty darn good, and like I said, there are very, very few handicappers who can say that they've been full-time professional handicappers for more than a quarter century. And I'm approaching actually 30 years, and been featured on a lot of national TV, national radio, big websites. The most recent one, ESPN.com, about the score phone. So check it out on ESPN Chalk. So yeah, okay.
All right, Sunday, August 16th. First thing I want to bring up, I mentioned a similar situation in Seattle and Boston on Friday. Two very vulnerable starters and lineups that are probably good enough to push a game over even a high total. We might have the same thing here, right? Henry Owens and Vidal Nuno for Seattle. Owens making his first start at Fenway. He has some upside to him, but he has control issues at times. Seattle does have a potent lineup when they're facing a guy who's struggling. If he has control issues against Seattle, I think he gets hit. Nuno, not much to write home about either. Do you think maybe we lean over in the Boston-Seattle game?
I don't know about that. Owens looks like he's a pretty darn good young pitcher. He is pitching at home. He's held opponents to a 216 batting average against them. Nuno, he has a 3 ERA in 20 games with the Mariners, but going back to last year, he hasn't gotten a lot of run support. Now, he's not going to pitch a ton of innings. You're not going to get any corroboration from me, but what I do think is that both teams will probably go to the bullpen early. So, if you're then you want to handicap the bullpens.
All right, Joe, good points. I think I'll hold off on my lean to the over for now. There's one lean you're not going to be able to talk me out of, though, Joe Duffy, and that is basically auto-fading Aaron Harang the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Aaron Harang, he, surprised some of us early in the year with some impressive results. I think he's living on fumes right now, living off of resting on his laurels from earlier in the year. He's just getting really lit up. Last start, he went into Arizona, gave up 8 runs. Last time he faced Milwaukee at home, gave up 8 runs. Here he's going to be on the road against Milwaukee. This is just going to be an ugly scene, right, Joe?
The Phillies, as we record this, still have the best return on investment.
Absolutely.
Since the All-Star break, and it may increase between now and game time. So I'm not going to talk you into betting on Harang, but at this point, betting on the Phillies has been a good idea. So it may be a pass. But am I going to say that the pitching advantage? Clearly the pitching advantage is with Milwaukee, but you're going to get a pretty big number to ride the Phillies.
Okay, and then Tampa Bay at Texas, an interesting pitching matchup here. Ramirez against Giovanni Gallardo, and he's been shaky. As we know, you've been predicting in recent calls that his struggles were likely to continue after they were only occurring for a few games, and you were absolutely dead on about that one. Now he's going to be here at home in a day game against the Tampa Bay lineup, and Erasmo Ramirez was quite effective for a big chunk of the year, and he had a good start last start at home. But before that, he was struggling a bit more, getting a little bit more knocked around. And here it'll be a tougher assignment on the road at Texas. We might see a modest total here, though. We might even possibly see 8.5. I don't know where this total is going to be, but do you think that maybe we might have an over in store?
Definitely from a pitching standpoint, it's not exactly a great matchup in Gallardo. He looked better his last outing, but to expect him to continue to pitch fairly well, and even when he does look good, it's not like he pitches 8 innings. So I would expect a high-scoring game for sure. Definitely put a check mark next to the over.
And then, we've been discussing these huge favorites in the last few calls. And I'll tell you, today is Thursday. I bet the Mets as a huge favorite on the run line with Noah Syndergaard going today, and that one cashed. Was that a bad bet? Maybe it was, but I cashed it. They're going to be probably a pretty big favorite again on Sunday with Matt Harvey going against Jeff Locke. Matt Harvey is just a stud on the mound. Locke can be okay at times, but now he's been consistently giving up 3 or 4 runs, and maybe the Mets are once again going to be one of these home teams as a huge favorite that actually has value. What do you think, Joe?
Yes, well, Syndergaard, first of all, he's especially been incredible at home, so laying the 1.5, very good call. Matt Harvey, same thing. The guy is clearly one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's not like, he's had many bumps in the road as of late. As, his last 10 starts, he's got a 1.45 ERA, and, he's been great. He's been very solid at home. Very good. And look, you're going to get back a pretty good number if you lay a run and a half to Pittsburgh. And I know that the Pirates will be coming off of a tough series against St. Louis. So, yeah, I'm not going to talk you out of it. So the Mets would probably be a very good play laying the run and a half.
Well, Sundays can be tricky because there's a lot of day games. But as of right now, I think my leans are the Mets, either on the money line or the run line. You didn't talk me off of looking to fade Aaron Harang. I expect him to get hit again, so I'll either bet Milwaukee or the over in that one, and probably looking to bet the over in Tampa Bay, Texas, depending on, the weather and the lineups and the line. Is there anything else you'd like to bring to our attention from Sunday, August 16th, Joe?
It's still, you want to be aware of, again, going back to laying the run line, although it's one of those cases where you're going to lay a run and a half and still have to lay some juice. As big of a pitching mismatch as you're going to get Zach Greinke and Michael Lorenzen. But Lorenzen, he's got a 8.49 ERA in his last 7 starts, and Zach Greinke, some would say he's the second best pitcher on the team. Some would say he's the best pitcher in the National League, but clearly a huge pitching matchup. And, if you're ever going to bet a run line, that almost seems a little bit too easy, but I'm going to have to find reasons to talk me out of it.
Joe Duffy's final picks every day, of course, can be found at offshoreinsiders.com. Thanks so much, Joe.